Hey guys, I'm back with another candle review, and this time around it's for the 14.5 ounce 3-wick old-fashioned cider donut candle from Bath & Body Works, part of the upcoming fall collection of candles. The notes on this read old-fashioned cake donut, baked apple, sprinkled with brown sugar cinnamon. So what this smells like to me is it's kind of like two diluted versions of Cider Lane and a cinnamon sugar donut kind of mixed together, and that's what I get. But it's not exactly either of those two fragrances. Once again, it's like a watered down version of both of those candles kind of mixed together. So basically what I get is I first get that apple note. It's definitely a very sweet, syrupy apple. It kind of reminds me of if they were like brown sugar apples that were starting to cook, and they were also starting to caramelize as well. So you get a very sweet, like caramelized feel to it. So there's a slight caramel component to the apple that makes it very sweet and syrupy. So it's not like a fresh cut farm stand apple, but more so a sweeter cooked apple is what I get from it. So you get that sort of caramelization on there mixed with a very sweet, syrupy apple, and it's definitely mixed with brown sugar that gives it a little bit of a heaviness. It's actually quite sweet or heavy at times that it kind of smells cloying, but it's not too bad. But there was some times where I'm just like, oh, this is a little bit too much. But that's what I get from it. And the brown sugar plus the caramel apple really reminds me of like a watered down Cider Lane, and that's why I get that comparison. It's not exactly the Cider Lane candle because if you recall, Cider Lane has a very like over the top richness and heaviness to it, and Cider Lane is like a warm caramel apple cider fragrance, what you get from Cider Lane, and this doesn't quite have that super over the top richness and heaviness that sometimes people think is like a little bit off-putting on cold when you smell Cider Lane, because there's like a heavy like fermentation to it mixed with a little bit of a heavier mulling spices type of feel to Cider Lane. It's not quite the full kit and caboodle that is Cider Lane, so you don't get quite that heavy fermentation or all the mulling spices that you get in Cider Lane, but a similar type of apple plus caramelization plus brown sugar component is in here, and that's what you get from the apple. And then it's mixed with a cinnamon sugar donut type of cake, like a vanilla cake donut note, but it's not as greasy as cinnamon sugar donut or cinnamon spice vanilla is. You don't get the like greasy heavy donut note. It's more just like a generic vanilla cake type of fragrance, like a cake donut, but once again, not as greasy. And there is a very slight, subtle cinnamon sugar note, so not to be confused with like a, a red hot spicy cinnamon, but more so a sweeter variety of a cinnamon sugar is what I get from it. That's reminiscent to the cinnamon sugar that's in cinnamon sugar donut, but once again, not as heavy or prominent as it is in cinnamon sugar donut. So it is like a more watered down version of cinnamon sugar donut, where you get more so of the focus on the like vanilla cake note. I can't really say it's like distinctly or undeniably donut as cinnamon sugar donut or cinnamon spice vanilla is, or even a hot cider donut from Homeworks. I feel like it's more so just more of the focus on that vanilla cake donut and less of the greasiness. So that's why it's not quite as like delicious as like cinnamon sugar donut is. But that's basically what this smells like. So it's kind of like, diluted versions of Cider Lane and cinnamon sugar donut mixed together, and that's what I get from it. And it's just all right to me. I don't know. I feel like it could be a little bit more delicious, or like maybe I'm just spoiled by hot cider donut from Homeworks, where you get more of that true fermentation and a crispness from the apple cider note mixed with a true greasiness and more of a pop of a cinnamon sugar from the actual donut, greasy fried donut note. You don't quite get all that in here, and it kind of just gets muddied, and it's just like a kind of like a apple sweet apple cake is kind of how it comes off, and it's just all right to me. Once again, it's not as great as the just like the intenser and more strong versions of Cider Lane by itself or cinnamon sugar donut. So to have like two watered down versions combined into one candle, I'm just like all right with. It's still a objectively pleasant and like delicious fragrance, but it just kind of seems redundant. So I guess that's why I'm kind of like just lukewarm on it. It's not a bad fragrance, but it's just all right to me, and that's pretty much what my thoughts are on this candle. Moving on to the performance, this is either a third or fourth burn, and it's doing fine. It has a thick rope-like wicks that are really massive, that create the vicious flames that does suck quite a bit if you don't trim them enough. So just make sure you keep them trimmed, and this pulls out in no time, deep even wax spool, so no really issues with the performance so far. As for the throw, I wish it was a little bit stronger. It's no more than about a 5 or a 6. It's just very medium. It's not unscented, and I can still smell it in a bedroom. It gets it's a little bit lost in an open concept area, but I can still smell it like wafting through the air. So it's not that it's unscented. It's just very much at a medium, like a 5 to a 6. Considering Cider Lane is usually so strong, it's just a little bit surprising. And I feel like adding like a cinnamon sugar donut type of bakery note would just make it even heavier and more intense. But that just doesn't seem to be the case. So it's just more so like a 5 to a 6 is what the throw is. And that's pretty much it on the performance on this one. Overall, objectively, it's a very pleasant fragrance and it still has like fall vibes to it that I'm still enjoying it while I'm burning it, but I guess I'm just not excited about it just because it's so similar to the other ones and the other versions are stronger than this one is. This one just has a medium throat and I'm just alright with it. It's kind of just a one and done for me, but I'm sure it'll still be appealing to many of the people who enjoy Bath & Body Works candles. So I'm sure people will still enjoy it and light it up and, grab it up. So that's pretty much it on this candle review. Let me know your thoughts down below and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.